Hello guys, first of all sound check, can you hear me clear? If yes, please write something in chat on YouTube. As I see we have 11 people here on stream. Okay, good. If you hear some noise or something, just let me know because I can't know can you hear me clear or not. So in case of any background noise or something else, just let me know and I fix that. Okay, good. So first of all, my name is Anton, if you don't know me still. I present Indie Game Dev Club like CEO of the company, as well kind of the ex-head of the club, because for the current moment I'm not a student in Innopolis University. I'm already graduated student in this year. So officially we have a lot of people who worked on the program of IGD course and in general about Indie Game Dev Club. Actually all people who are related to our community work on it. So I'm not the only person who represents the club. During the course, if you are going to join us, you will know them and you will have information about everything related to the people who are going to mentor you. And today I'm going to present it's too low. Okay, maybe I just need to speak louder. Is it better now if I speak like that? Okay, good. Fine. So today I'm going to present you all information related to the game development course, and my goal is to show you what you should expect during the course. What other opportunities do you have? By the way, just to know, do we have a people here who speaks English only? I mean, not only, of course, because I guess you have your native language. I mean, the people who doesn't speak Russian. Is anyone here? So anyway, first of all, in general, the course is going to be held in English language. Every presentation will be held in English, but if you have question and your native language is Russian, it's you can ask any questions in chat in Russian language if you want. I will translate it, and so the people who doesn't speak Russian will have an opportunity to hear the same information. The last year we didn't have a people. Vladimir, I asked not foreign students, but just students who doesn't speak Russian, but I know that you speak. So in the last year we didn't have a people during the IGD course who didn't know Russian. So in general the lectures was in English according to the presentations, but the presentations was held in Russian. But it's really for us it's really simple to speak in English because we're studying in Innopolis University, so it's not a problem for us. So don't be shy because you don't speak Russian, or don't be shy if you think that you have a bad English. You also can ask in Russian and every question will be translated. So let's go for the presentation. And first of all, as I said, today I'm going to cover what you will expect during the course program, what is the format of the program in general, what projects will be held at. I will show you the schedule and the format of the lessons that we have. I'm going to present you all resources that we have for this course and tell you a little bit about events. And by the way, on the right side you can see our mascot of our company and our clubs. His name is Indy. So we decided that that will be the best name. It was inspired by the Stitch cartoon character. We really love him a lot, and so in case if you want to have, for example, some stickers, I mean the physical stickers on the paper, you can ask me and I will bring it you the stickers with this mascot and with the symbols of IGD Con and Indie Game Dev Club in general. So let's start. I'm going to just to remind you what was presented during the first presentation on the bootcamp. So why you should actually join this course. If you want to learn game dev in practice, this is the best opportunity how you can do it here in Innopolis. We believe that the game dev is not only about the games, but it's also about the people. So the communication skills that you have will be increased rapidly, I can say, because all work will be held in teams. So And it doesn't matter actually what you do. Do you like game design, programming, or art? You will have an opportunity to learn it. In this year we have a slightly change. In the previous year we have 3 different tracks, but in this year we want to change it a bit. It's happened first of all because of the feedback that we had before. It happened because of our experience that we gathered during the previous year, and in general because it depends actually of number of people, because when you really focus on only one side of the question, especially for hyper casual games, it's maybe a little bit hard to produce the game. So during this course we are going to teach you everything related to the game development, not only related to your specific roles that you want to hold in the team. Another reason, if you have never done games before, so this is a good opportunity to make your first game. It's also opportunity for you to be maybe employed in our company or any other company, because we have communications with other companies, not only in Kazan but in Innopolis, but in general in Russia, and even not in Russia, because the game development is international sphere, and so here you have an opportunity to work with the people from different countries, and it doesn't matter where you live. Last year we presented 3 projects on DevGam conference, and so this is a good opportunity for you also to present your game, to have a communication with other people from the sphere. You have an opportunity actually, especially if you are first year bachelor student. This is really great because you will have an opportunity to study when you study. For me, as for the graduated student, I think this is a really crucial skill, because not everything could be learned during the university program. Something you have to learn by yourself, and this is all about time management, motivation, and other things that you have to do when you want to achieve some results in your life. As well, we are going to make all of the projects commercially oriented. Of course, it's hard to make a first project commercially profitable, but anyway, if we're not going to orient it on the commercial potential of the projects, maybe it will not be a good project. Of course, there is different types of projects that could be not commercial but social important, but this is another field, and we want to focus only on one of them. And yeah, of course, we will give you our feedback, and also you will receive not only our feedback, but from the people who have really a lot of years of experience in game development. And so you will get feedback, for example, during the DevCamp conference or anything else, from the publishers and from the people who work in the industry a lot of time. And yeah, and the only requirements that we also want to see from the people who want to study IGD course, it's to be self-responsible, to be kind actually to your teammates, and if you start this journey, so you have to finish it till the end, because other way you will just your team will be suffer without you if you are going to leave in some moment. And this is actually how life works, at least we believe that, and so that's why it's also important part of the course. And as I mentioned before, you have to do a simple task. For now, I only have one letter from one student who completed the task. The deadline, as I remember, is 30 August. So until this time, you just need to complete this task, because it will help us to evaluate your skills, and to shuffle you in teams depends on your skill. What are we going to develop during the course? First of all, it's important to mention that our company specializes in hyper-casual game development. It's a mobile market with a really specific entities that we have, and so it's actually really important to understand how this market works. But if to say shortly, these games really have short development period. So it means that one game could be done, first version of the game could be done in 2 days. It could be tested just in 1-2 days for the commercial profitability, I mean, and the whole version of the game could be done in just 1 month or even less. And so this is a good point to start, because mobile games are much simpler, are much smaller, at least usual mobile games, and especially hyper casual games. It's all about only one single mechanic, and you will learn essential about their game design and programming and art. You will learn essential things that is important in the future, and it doesn't matter what you do in the future, PC games or AAA project or something like that. It doesn't matter, because the essentials are the same. So what about speaking about the format? First of all, it's important to mention that it could be discussed in the future. By that I mean that for now, due to the situation that we have in the world, the coronavirus, we have to work online because not all the students are presented right now in the Innopolis, and so we not want to split someone who doesn't have the possibility to join us today. That's why for now we are going to hold it online. But we believe that offline communication is really important. We believe that the people that in online format, it's much harder to work if you didn't have experience before. And so in the moment when we will have it, if we ask people and we will see that everyone who are going to continue the course will be here, we will start offline classes, but in the same time maybe we will start offline classes if some people are not still will not be present in Nopolis, but we will record everything and publish it, so it will be open for everyone or not for anyone actually. So language, as I said, is primarily English. Communication Russian is possible. And in general, we are going to hold the lessons 3 to 5 times in a week. Don't worry, it maybe looks like a lot of it will take a lot of your time, but it's actually not, because some lectures will be held at just maybe 40 minutes, some lectures maybe will be take more time, and some workshops we're trying to keep the workshops on weekends when you will be available and we will have an opportunity to join us fully. And we also students, so at least me and past in past I was a student, so I understand how is it hard to manage your general education with something else. So we will try to we're trying to adapt the program according to the educational programs that you have. In this year we have a slightly change related to the previously it was 1 semester, now it's a trimester program. So we maybe will adapt a schedule a bit, depends on the midterms and final exams when you will have it, but we're trying to keep a space for you during the midterm exams and final exams, and to keep and to give you time to focus on education when you need it. So speaking about the format of the lessons, in general there are 5 of them. So first of all, some simple lectures. It's just theoretical materials. Maybe sometime you will have a simple task that you can complete in just half an hour, something like that. Maybe it could be some kind of homework. The second thing is workshops. Workshop is some practical stuff that you have to do during the classes, and this is what that's the thing that is really better to keep not online but offline, as we believe. It could be something like to implement some specific feature in Unity or anything else. We also have a checkpoints. Deadline of the course. Yeah, I will tell about this later, don't worry. So speaking about checkpoint, checkpoint is some date where you have to finish something. For example, the first checkpoint for you for now it's to do a screening test before the 31 of August. I will give you some examples what are lessons kind of in the future. The next thing is gold classes are really interesting. Usually we invite some people for online lectures, online webinars from industry who are really cool experts, and as one of the example, in the September, I believe in the middle of September, we will have a guests from Indicator Space, from the founders of this space. Actually, Indicator Space is a special community, like we are actually kind of, that is based in St. Petersburg, and they are developing actually a space for the people who want to work and educate in game development field. We will have a guest, Alexei Sawyer, who is a game designer, especially he was specified on the tabletop game design, and we will have Sergey Gimleray, who has more than 20 years experience in game development. He also focused on game designer, and he one of the founder of game design CAFs, or Manjeta Game Designer, if we speak it in Russian. So this is the platform for the game designers who want to develop his game design skills, and so these two people are really cool people, and they will show you how, maybe we give you some lectures, or maybe they will show you prototypes and other stuff, and maybe a bit small unknown, so spoiler, Indie Game Dev Club has a really strong cooperation with Indicator Space, and one of our goal in the nearest future, I can say maybe this September visit that they will have, will be about to open a special workspace for the people who want to work in game development field in Innopolis. So this could be like a local representation of the Indicator Space. Indicator Space has the representation in St. Petersburg, and so here there will also be some space where you can join, find the people to have a different lectures related to the game development field. So you will have a place where you can come and to actually develop your skills as a game designers and game developer people. The last thing is teamwork. Teamwork could include anything related to when you have to work with your team. The first thing that you will have in teamwork, it will be the teams, when we will split you in teams, this will be the first step where you will generate the idea of your game. So brainstorm session, it's kind of the teamwork lesson, and another field is, for example, some hackathons, some events where you have to work with your teammates to complete specific tasks. So it's not a lecture, it's not a workshop, it's mostly about event or specific sessions that you will have. Next thing. So Nikita asked about the checkpoints and deadlines that we have. So here are main deadlines that we have. In previous year, we tried to focus only on one game during the semester, but this year we want to change it for some reason that we had in previous years. So first of all, we have a screening test deadline. The second is teams formation. It's not require anything from you except to complete the task, and as much you write about yourself in screening test, as much more information give us how to format you in teams. The next deadline is concept and vision talks. It's the 7th of September. So it will be about to work with your teams, and especially it will be work for the game designers. Yep, for the course per week, at least you have spent maybe 3 hours to the lectures, at least 2 or 3 hours per day maybe for your project, but that's why we shift a bit starting of the working on the practical project, because we understand that you need the time to understand how to study in Innopolis University to keep your time for your project development. In general, if we say that you have 2 hours per week, for 2 hours per day, sorry, for your project, so it means that in a week you have to spend like 12 hours per the course, maybe, or 12 to 40 hours per the course. It's not requirement for you to visit every lecture, especially because we recorded it, but this is a good opportunity for you how to actually to communicate with people. So we believe that in this time slots that we prepared for you, it's possible to finish a project even without any skills before. But about this I will tell a bit later. So for the 20th of September, you will have to submit a first prototype of your game, really raw prototype. And for the 15th of October, this will be your first game submission. It means that at this moment your game should be finished. What I mean by finished, we discussed it on the next slide. And so usually, approximately in middle of October, we have a club fest, which is a special event where each club represents what they do, and so this is a good point for you to showcase your game firstly in really good and friendly environment before you come on some online international conference like DevGam. So, and then during the half of the semester before the new year, before the December, you will have a time to complete the second project. And I will explain why we decided to make 2 projects on the next slide. So, and in general, you will have a checkpoint that is called Screenshot Saturday. Every Saturday, you have to submit some screenshot and short description what you do during the previous week. This is a good point to motivate your teammates and to motivate other people who are also work during the course. And yeah, checkpoints could be extended, but it's just will be something that related to some details, maybe some specific docs or anything else, because it's not always possible to predict how you will be successful during the course. So sometimes we'll give you some specific deadlines to make it not harder for you, but actually better for you, because you will have a more control on the project development. So, speaking about why we decided to make 2 projects, first of all, as we said before, hyper casual games have a short production cycle. It means that usually for the experienced people, it takes like from 2 to 7 days to produce one simple game, at least raw prototype, and 1 month maximum to make a full game. Here is a lot of reason for that, and during the course I will tell you why, maybe during the next lecture when I will tell you about the game design concept of hyper casual games. And this year we are going to focus not on the game, maybe not on the full game, but mostly on the CTR video. CTR video, it means click rate video. Again, I will tell you about this later, but this is just a ad promo video, like 30-second with your games, and not maybe even not an actual gameplay. At least for the first time, we want to show you the essential of how this market works, so that's why we decided to keep this format. So in case if we focus on CTR and you will have like more than 1 month to produce, it means that for the people who have experience in that, you have in 6 times larger, 6 times more times that we usually have for our usual production development. And we also actually we are not working the full day usually. Usually people who work in our company work like part-time, only half of the day. It means like 4 hours per day. So, and they also have they also study, so they also have homeworks and deadlines. So as you see, you are really close to this conditions that they have, but of course they have experience. That's why you have much more time than we are. So we believe that it's possible, and we will try to control it. And another important reason, so when you do a new project, after some time, after you tried the first one, you will have more experience. You have went through the whole cycle of development, and so in this moment you know how to make it better. So that's why maybe it's better to make another one project than trying to fix the mistakes that you did on the previous one. So maybe in this case, if we see that you will be successful, we even do not a 2 but 3 or 4 projects, or maybe at some point you will understand that the idea of your game was not so good, and so you will decide to switch to the another one. That's actually what we see during the last year. Some people maybe stuck on the bad idea, and that's why it didn't work. So speaking about the teams, as I said, we are going to distribute you by teams. First of all, it's minimal. It will be 3 people: game designer, programmer, and artist. And by artist, I usually mean 3D artist, or 3D artists who also have experience at 2D. But of course, it really depends on the number of people and depends on the interests that you have. As I told you before, in this year we are going to teach you everything, because it's crucial to understand the whole pipeline of hyper casual game development, because really short cycle. So if you're the artist, this is a good point for you, because if you're an artist, you still study in IT university, where you have to learn how to program, and skills that will help you during your study. If you're an artist and you don't want to work with, if you're a programmer and you don't want to work with art, it's fine, because usually we have enough artists. And also from the company side and from the club side, we can say that most of the work that you have to do during the art production, it's just to find the assets that you need, and we have a lot of assets, and we also have some 3D modelers that could help you to produce. So in case if you will not have an artist in your team, it doesn't mean that you will not have an art. This is how hyper casual really often work. So if you're a game designer, for the game designer, it's really cool thing to know Unity, because it's much easier for you to prototype something. It's much easier for you to balance something, to work with variables, to try to work with the colors, because when you are trying to explain to the programmer what you expect from him, maybe he could understand something wrong, and that will lead to the result where you receive a product that you will not expect to receive. Maybe it's not high quality, but in your head it looks good. So when you have a skill to do it by yourself, that will give you additional opportunity to make it better. And yep, so what else? Yeah, an artist could work on outsource, the point. Speaking about that, if we will have not enough artists in hyper casual game development, we usually don't need a lot of art, because it's really simple, and artists are not not have a full load, and they often have a free time. So sometimes we can adjust work of other teams to the artist to produce, because it's also experience for them. But what is more important for the artist here, you can learn 3D modeling, for example, by yourself. But because there's a lot of material in the internet available for you, but to learn how to adapt your art for the hyper casual and for your programmers, this is a skill that's much more crucial for the fast development cycle. So the same thing is held at not for the whole team. So the only thing that you need to do is to read the specifications that the game designer writes you and to adapt from the technical side of the question your model for him. Speaking about Shadow, it's already available. I will send you the link on the presentation, so you can click on the link on the slide and to see the draft of the Shadow. I mean, draft, it's not, think about it, it's not about the final decision, because everything could change. We will adapt it according to your educational laws that you will have. We will ask you about the, for now we need to understand who are going to join. Then later we will ask you what is more, but what is a better time for you to study, and at this point we will choose precisely a time and the format that will be comfortable for you. So as well, you can see there something related to the why it could be changed. So all described in the slides. So lessons also colored by this on this schedule, so you can see what type of the project of the lessons that you will have. As well, on the right side on the screen, you can see that we will have links on the streams and on the slides, and you will have an opportunity to see these materials again. And as well, we add some additional links related to the to some materials that will be useful for you. Bad for you, Vova. Bad for you. Well, next. Now I want to actually present you what we are going to do during this course. First of all, first lecture will be held about game design intro. I will tell you about what is specific about hyper casual games and game design and monetization strategies that the hyper casual games has. Then the second thing, we will have a brainstorm pipeline. We will generate ideas for your game. That will be changed actually. Teams formation, game teams generation, and project distribution. The second one, I think it's clear. So on the next lecture, we will tell you about the game development pipeline, about agile methodologies, about Scrum development, and what is specific in game development field. If you don't know this word, don't worry. That's why we are going to give you this lecture, to give you understanding how in game development production work, and in general how IT production work. This will be really useful for you, especially if you want to join a software engineering track. This is a lecture about everything that you will have during maybe the second year of education. And it's not a hard thing, it's all about management, so it's just a theoretical information that you will have to try on practice. Next thing is we will tell you about technical aspects and pipeline of art production in Unity. We will tell you about vector and raster graphics, how to do that, and what software to use, and why you need that. Yeah, hyper casual games is garbage play market games for money. That's true. That's really essential that you say it, but you should try that instead. Maybe that your vision is not really the same with a lot of people who work in this field. The next thing, we are going to work with Unity components, prototyping and assets. We will tell you about the color theory, reference, and drawing UI. We will teach you a basic 3D modeling that you need, but usually, as I said, if you have experience in 3D art, that will be much more easy for you, but some basics you will also get if you're a programmer or something like that. We will give you, if you still don't know how to work with Git, we will show you how to work and tell you a little bit about CI/CD. It's the process of continuous integration, continuous development. We will show you how to generate specification docs for the artists and programmers, which is really useful for the game designers, but for the artists and programmers it's also important, because sometimes you have to build a master plan or write a technical documentation, or to read something that game designers write to you and to understand that. So the next, we will approximately in this date we will have Alexei Soyer and Sergey Gimmelreich, who will come from the indicator space. I don't know what will be the topic from them, but anyway. Then I will tell you about the game's decomposition. If you see the game, how to decompose it on the core mechanic, on the meta mechanic. So this is closer to the game design theory. The next lectures will be about level design. Maybe for hyper casual games it's not so important, but it's a really interesting theoretical lecture about how the level designers control a player. This material was built according to the, I don't remember the name, from the guy who is the famous level designer from the Ubisoft. Then, because of the midterms, we are going to show you the movie, indie game, the movie. So that's really interesting. We can just collect in one audience and to try it together. Uh, yeah. So later we will show you how to work with particles and shaders graphics. Especially we will show you how to work with the special plugins that helps you to make your visual more closer to the hyper casual games. And one lecture about how we organize events, how we participate events, what are the conferences we have, and what opportunities you will have here. Then you will have a submission of the first game. After that, we are going to teach you how game dev work as business, how to work with publishers, with customers, how to define your target audience. We will tell you about the key metrics that we have in hyper casual field, and show you what is analytics, why do you need that. Then we show you how to make your business plan, calculate your revenue, and this is really useful for the balance and for the game designers, because how to apply the formulas to understand is the game profitable or not is really important for you. And then, yeah, here is a mistake. It's not the first end, it's the second game submission, of course, game final submission. Yeah, this should be second. My bad. And the next thing, so this is the shortly information about what we are going to have during the first half of the education, but of course it could change, depends on your progression, depends on what do you want, and the only thing that you need is to ask from us, and we do the best to help you. The next thing, it's speaking about resources, how we can help you during the production. First of all, of course, it's our expertise in game design, programming, and art. The second, as I said before, we have assets base. It's art and code. It's different plugins for Unity that could be used for better development. We show you what the relations do we have with publishers, other game dev companies, and communities. As I said before, we have a partnership with the Indicator Space. In the details, it could be just if you see something interesting from Indicator, maybe we can, for example, to join this event or something else. So this is discussable. For just join to the community, you will see what they do. We have a kind of good relationships with DevGam conference. So the idea is that if, for example, we are going to apply to the DevGam showcase, maybe we will have a special condition for our programmers. For example, they can give us a special slot for our games, and we don't have to go through the process of testing of your game when the people for the judgment, do you acceptable to showcase or not. But the idea is that we can have a special quota, it's called in Russia, where you have an opportunity to present your game without any conditions that usually DevGam has. Of course, a lot of useful links and articles, and we have an access to Voodoo dashboard. Voodoo is one of the biggest company on hyper casual game. It's not one of the biggest, I can say the biggest company, biggest publisher in game development, hyper casual field. And so they have a special dashboard that is used for testing. First of all, of your games, to test your games on the real audience. So you just publish the game. Voodoo buy special traffic to understand KPIs of your game, and they also have cool educational materials that is accessible only for the people who have access to this dashboard. And so we can share these materials with you. It's really useful because you can see just teams with 2 or 3 people who make a hit game and earn the money on this game. And we have agreement with Crazy Labs for prototypes. It's special agreement where if your game really cool, you can present it to the Crazy Labs, and they can give you money for development and for the testing. Not only for the development, but this is just starting from the concept of idea. You can have $500, and up to the production you can have $5,000. So this is a good point. If you think that your game is cool, you can test it with Crazy Labs, and so you will give money even on this stage. Because for Voodoo you have to reach a really specific KPI before they will give you money or launch your game. So speaking about events, for now we decided that at least 3 events will be held in. We are sure about 3 events, but they always happen, so we can have organized some meetup related to IGD, but again, due to the situations that we have right now, we are not planning that. First of all, is Hyper Casual IP Jam from Homa Games. Homa Games is a really large publisher, and they are going to have a jam from 9th of September to 21st of September, which one you can actually participate as a team to develop a game with some specific intellectual property. For example, they have intellectual property on Nerf. Nerf is special. It's a guns with it's toy guns. And actually, one of the company on behalf of this intellectual property developed a game which became a hit. So this is a good point where you can actually use some intellectual property for your game development. It will be held during the 12 days. I don't read conditions yet, but it's available on this link on the site. Ludum Dare is one of the famous jam that is held online. Was held within Decatur space, and so we also want to participate in that because it's only just 4 days, 2 days, sorry. And so this is a good point for you to rest maybe a bit, because when you work on some game during the long period of time, sometimes you have to just maybe to work on something else to have a better production for your own game. Of course, we will hold the global game jam in IGD Con, but it will be held but not during this semester, but in the next semester, during the January, because this is tradition for us. If something will not disturb us from that, we will going to hold that. And some others, as I said, we are going to do something related to the depends. If we will have a people who want something, so we will organize something, of course. Next, Patreon. Shortly, we have a Patreon, and usually we collect the money which we use for the pizzas and movies and different t-shirts for you, for organizing events, books, assets, gifts, and certificates. By the way, if you are already in Innopolis University, you can go to the how it's called, club room, which is on the third floor, 309A auditorium, where you can I guess you don't have an access right now, but if you want, we actually have a journal H, to 12 journal H about the game development. We have books related to the Unreal development, Unreal VR development, and books related to the game design, like Bloods with Pixels and something else. So you can freely to use that. Just let me know, and I will give you access to that. So for me, it's actually all for today. I speak a lot about the course, and I hope that you have enough information to decide to participate on it or not. But the only thing that you have to do is fill the form related to the registration on the course, and then send our screening test. It's really simple. It should not take a lot of your time. Maybe if you have not experience in game design, game development, you don't have a lot of gameplay experience, so maybe you will have to read a few articles before you can answer this question. So for now, I'm going to give you some time to ask questions in chat, because I know there is some delay on the stream, and I'm going to answer these questions. If you don't have a question, so we can finish. So waiting for your questions. And yeah, I forgot to mention one important thing. You will be added in the chat after there you submit everything related to the registration on the course. This is the first thing. Yeah, you can change your role freely. I mean, it's not, as I said, it's not a strict role. You will have to work on a few things. Yeah, about the presentation, I will share it here. I will share it in chat as well. Let me just give me a moment. First of all, here. You can change it in any time. It's not a big deal, really. I mean, during the development of the small team, when you work in the small team, you often have to close a few roles, because, for example, me, I'm primarily work as a game designer and as a producer maybe, but for now I have to work as a programmer, especially for the visuals, and so that's like a Unity programmer on the visuals. So I combining these two roles to make better performance for the team. Of course, some of them my work as a game designer I just delegate to my game designers in the company. So it's, of course, it's possible. That's why we are going to teach you how to do everything. this is a crucial skill when you don't have a lot of experience in professional experience in game development, and if you want to work in some company, you should have a portfolio with your projects, and as much more you can do, as much better you're actually from the side of the companies that's looking for the junior developers, because for the junior developers often doesn't have some portfolio of the project, and they usually can do only suggest one simple thing, and that's why they don't understand the full pipeline of the game development. A lot of companies do not accept juniors because they are afraid that these people do not understand the pipeline of development. The problem not with the skills and not with the task, but they usually don't have an experience how to work in team. The presentation I already sent to you. As well, this translation, the stream will be available maybe in 15 minutes or something like that. It depends on YouTube algorithms. I share your presentation with you. I also will share additionally the form, the Google form that you have to fill to join the course, and the screening test. Screening test, form for registration, and the stream will be available as YouTube will let me. So, as I say, there is no questions more, so I think we could finish. In case of any questions, you can write me in Telegram, you can write me in chat, you can write me everywhere that you want to. If you have questions, you don't have to write an email on Gmail of the company, you can just write personally to me. It must be much more faster if you write me in Telegram. And after the 30th of August, or maybe about that, I will add you in special chat related to the game, to the IGD course, and later I guess we will add you to the Discord channels, because it's much more easy to communicate when you have multiple channels in Discord than one chat in Telegram. So each team will have a special Discord chat. I forgot to mention during the presentation, but the point is that we have found that the Discord is really useful for the group teamwork, especially when we have a lot of teams, and during the internship we tested it with the 50 people, and it shows much more comfortable than to work in Telegram in one chat and to create a lot of different chats in Telegram. So this is your working area, and the Telegram maybe for some announcements or something like that. So thank you for your time, thank you for your participation. Hope to see all of you during the course, and just fill the form, and let's see you later. The next lecture will be available on let me check the date, on the 28th of August. It will be at Friday. It will be about game design, so you will have an opportunity to know how the hyper casual works before even you start, even before you decided to join the course or not. So maybe you will change your mind in the future. Why not? So thank you a lot. Have a nice day.